Hello friends and welcome back to a new cleaning for free. My name is Colleen and I clean extremely dirty homes for free in the Netherlands. Please subscribe to my channel because it helps me a lot. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and leave a happy or funny comment. Here we go! If you watched my previous video from last week, you know that I told you that week was a very eventful week. I was referring to the very unfortunate clean that you're gonna see in this video. If you're familiar with a little Dutch and you can read Dutch, then I will give you a hint right now and maybe you can even guess it. But first, let me explain a little bit about the home that we just walked into. This is the home of a single mom and her daughter who is in middle school, and she also has two older kids, but they already moved out. It was the oldest daughter who reached out to me because she knew her mom needed help. But her mom was very distrustful towards authorities and social institutions. She also had been in touch with CPS, but that brought her a lot of trouble. She had made a fresh start for herself and her family, but now the home was in the same state again. One of the main reasons for all the dirt in this house was that her daughter asked for a little cat. That was about 2 years ago or something. And even though this fluffy pet was loved so much, this cat was not neutered. Miraculously, the cat became pregnant and gave birth to 11 kittens. Mom already had a hard time caring for herself and her family, but now with 11 kittens, it was almost impossible. And if you think this can't get any worse, well, this story continues. Soon it turned out that not just the mom cat, but the kittens too had fleas. 2 weeks before our cleaning, the kittens and the cat were removed from this home, but it was that morning that the mom told that the fleas were still in the house. Look, I'm wearing my Scrub Daddy scrunchie today!
Oh my god!
I am proudly showing off my Scrub Daddy scrunchie here because, as you know, they made me Scrub Daddy ambassador for the Netherlands, and a couple of weeks ago they sent me a really cute PR package. It was the collaboration between Scrub Daddy and Disney, and they put a Mickey Scrub Daddy and a Minnie Scrub Mommy in there, and also a really cute bottle, a scrunchie, and Mickey ears, and it was so cute. More and more of my Dutch followers are getting to know Scrub Daddy as a company that truly cares about people living in dirty situations. They are supporting me and supplying me, and it is just a great company with a good heart. The part of the video that you're seeing now was recorded that early morning, and we made sure we were well protected and geared up really well because of the fleas. Were we so excited to help? Yes. Were we maybe a little naive? Also yes. We had Googled if fleas could survive without a pet in the house, and Google said no, it's very likely that the fleas will die. However, we saw some scratches on the mom's arms, and so we thought maybe there were bed bugs instead of fleas. That's why we did decide to not touch any of the bedrooms. Alright you guys, we're a bit nervous because there might be bed bugs in this home. We just heard it this morning and we are pooping our pants right now. What we did not realize is that fleas also lay eggs, and these eggs will come out even without a pet in the house. So Jasmin and I started this clean thinking we could handle it because we weren't touching the beds and the fleas would have died by now. Jasmin and I started on sorting out the hallway because we didn't want to trip over everything as we were carrying out the trash bags. There was one cute closet that looked like a small house that was in the middle of the hallway, so we decided to put that against the wall to make some space. This is what the hallway looked like, and since it was kind of a small space to work in with 2 people, I decided to start on the living room. So when you first step into this home, you can see that there is no logicality in anything. The furniture is set up everywhere throughout the house. The chair and the couch. The couch is in parts. Some of the parts are right here. Some of the parts are back there. I don't know why they moved it this way, but it's probably because she tried to sort it out and clean it up, but it didn't work out. I cannot watch this part of the video without laughing so hard at myself because that butt is not the newest fashion. It is just a sign that I ordered the hazmat suits in a size too small for me, and that's why my pants are ripped. However, don't start hating on the size of my butt. It is all because my superpower, the cleaning power, is in my butt. It really makes me able to move these heavy pieces of furniture as I'm doing here. It turned out that the daughter who is in middle school really likes to do art and crafts because there were so many supplies laying everywhere on the floor. Even though there was cat litter on there as well, I decided to be really careful with what to throw away because there were also some games and some toys, and maybe the mom wanted to wash them. For example, if you have a cardboard game or a card game, you can use a microfiber towel, spray some alcohol on that, and wipe all the pieces of that game with it. But I would only recommend this if the game is dirty from dust and other dry dirt and not urine or poop or anything. Since paper and cardboard are made from natural materials, and so when it's touched by enzymes from pets and everything, it will definitely be soaked into that material.
Oh my god. Ja, maar dit is het meeste wat ik echt moet bezig.
This cabinet was supposed to be the games, arts and crafts cabinet, but all kinds of other stuff was on there, and so I decided to sort that out. And first I took away all the trash. If you ask me what I love doing more, cleaning or organizing, I think it is both, because I can really enjoy sorting out and organizing a space like this. But if you ask me what is the most mental part of a clean, then it is definitely organizing. After a clean that's mostly organizing, I always feel mentally more tired than when it's a clean that involves mostly cleaning. I think an explanation for this is that when you're organizing, your brain is making a puzzle, and that is taking up more energy than when you're cleaning. I've got so many Dutch followers who send me a message and they ask for a clean, but in fact it is not really a clean, it is more of an organizing and sorting out kind of job and more of a decluttering job. Since I had hundreds of people in my inbox struggling with decluttering, with organizing, with sorting out stuff in their house, I decided to start a series on my Dutch channel in which I record a video of a very small space, such as just the kitchen countertop, and I'm taking really, really small steps in order to organize that part of that room. And the fact that this really short video has already been watched so many times tells me that there are a lot of people that really need the support and the help in their house, and I'm so glad that I can give them that through a video for free. Because I was working in quite a small space, I decided that it was time to move some furniture, and I wanted to make the couch one whole couch again. So I decided to move all the dark brown couch pieces to the front of the living room so I could make it one couch again. And I also put the chairs in their place at the dining table. But there was a large crate that stood in the way, so I couldn't move that piece of furniture, and so I had to move the crate first.
Now we have space.
In this phase of the clean, everything was going according to plan, but we didn't know that impending disaster was waiting on us. Bum ba-dum bum bum. As you can see, arts and crafts supplies and paperwork and everything just kept on coming from under the couch and under not the refrigerator, what is it called? Okay, sorry, I quickly had to look that up on Google. I mean the radiator or the heating. So it took quite some time before we cleared out this dining part of the living room, and we planned to take on the front part of the living room after it. And when the complete living room floor would be empty, then we would start micro cleaning and disinfect everything, because that was really needed because of all the cat poop and cat urine. But we also longed for a nice cup of coffee, and Yasmin had coffee all the way from Japan with her. So we decided to drink that in the sun and enjoy the moment. Well, that was until Yasmin saw a tiny, teeny, tiny brown bug on her suit. And it didn't take really long for us to realize that, well, let me explain you in real time. Okay, guys. There are fleas in the suit. We've got a disaster situation here because we're busy cleaning everything, and oh my goodness, there are fleas in the suit. I don't know if you can see the black spots, but those are fleas. Here they are, the little ones. Oh my goodness. Alright everyone, we just discovered that we have got fleas. They were in our suits, they're on our skin.
I feel them everywhere.
They leave red spots on our skin everywhere. They're biting, they're jumping on us, and
they were on our face and on our neck.
We were completely in panic mode. So I think we're gonna quit. Yeah, we should quit. We should quit.
Yeah.
In panic mode, we initially thought that we would leave this clean immediately, but then we felt for the mom and her daughter because the living room was in complete chaos now because we moved so many furniture pieces. So we decided to continue until all the furniture was in the place where they should be, and we also finish it with a sweep, so at least the floor was clear. Also, we knew that pest control had to come as soon as possible in this house to do their job, and we didn't want them to back out because of all the mess and because they wouldn't be able to walk through the house. In the meantime, we phoned some people who knew some people who knew some people who had had fleas before, and we asked for advice on how to cope with that. As we were finishing sweeping up the floor in this living room, we constantly talked about the emergency plan that we needed after we would leave this clean in half an hour or so. In the meantime, we were so itchy and we were so desperate. But at the same time, we immediately knew that this was a learning curve and that we had to do our best to make a plan to at least not take any of the fleas home. Don't worry, I'm recording this voiceover 1 week in the future, and I know that I did not take any of the fleas home. So it all went well in the end, but first we had to go through several mental breakdowns. After we had some professional advice through the phone, we decided that this was our emergency plan. First, we would not get into our cars anymore before we got showered. And we also needed new clothes, flea-free clothes. So step 1 was to spray our current clothes completely into that anti-flea spray. So if that we had any fleas still on us, they would at least be dead. Step 2 was to walk all the way to the city center, find the nearest clothing shop, go in and out as quickly as possible and buy new clothes. Step 3 was to buy anti-lice shampoo that also kills fleas. Step 4 was to find the nearest swimming pool and take a shower there and change clothes. This was the way we ended this clean, and we informed the mom that we had to leave. In the future, we won't be taking on any cleans with fleas involved because that's a job for our colleagues of the pest control. Thank you so much for listening to this story, and the next clean will be a successful one. See you later!